Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Between Plays. Okay, so basically, look, we're going to be looking a little bit at what Citron attempted to do to NEO, and we saw a lot of support from NEO shareholders. And you know what? In our opinion, that was a good thing. The more time goes on, the more articles that I keep on seeing concerning EV vehicles, like the timeline of when we can, when the world should, eliminate them, whether it's through the Paris Accord, the Green Alliance, and all these things, and governments calling for it. So I'm making this video because I think it's a little important for all the NEO shareholders out there, including myself. I have some shares in NEO, and you know what? Listen, let's be honest. It's good for everybody across the board, whether you're in Li Auto, XPeng, XBEV, of course Tesla. Even if you're thinking about purchasing with all the other manufacturers, there's nothing wrong with investing in any of the companies. That being said, I'm focusing mostly on NEO today, not because of the fact that I have shares in it, but because of the fact that Citron went and put out an article on them. Now, listen, what can we say? Look, I've heard the arguments even for Tesla saying, well, it's really overvalued because it's like 4, 5, 6 of the big car manufacturers all combined when you're looking at what their value is, and then after that you look at NEO and it's sort of it's doing the same thing. It is overvalued. But that being said, you're looking at the future projected growth. You understand what I'm saying here? Like it's like investors do this all the time. Investors do this all the time. Why? It's just because all of a sudden we see things quicker as retail investors than maybe 75 years ago. Yeah, because we got the internet, right? And we can do our research and we look things up. Or as soon as the Chinese government said, we will not let NEO fall. Like, as soon at that point, and you knew about the industry, you knew about the Paris Accord Agreement, you knew about the Green Alliance, you knew about the dates 2035, and you knew about all these things. I mean, especially the vehicles are nice. They're beautiful, actually. And the swapping stations. I mean, the swapping stations are absolutely phenomenal. Listen, I can't say anything bad about NEO because they got everything's in place. Everything's in place. Listen, I love Tesla too. I really do. I just really like the swapping stations. I'm sort of like sold on the swapping stations, and the reason being is when you have a family and a lot of little kids, I think that becomes really important. And of course, until the day that we can really recharge a vehicle, like zap, and then the next thing or within I would give it even a half hour. If I can get 500 kilometers on a half hour charge, that would be insane. Okay? It's like a lightning bolt, like just right inside there. But that would be all right. Because, when you're on a long journey with your kids anyways, you need to get them out. They need to get out. They need to move their legs around. Even us. We need to move our legs around or whatever. Grab yourself a coffee. Grab yourself something to eat. Relax. Take it easy. Smell the roses, as they say. Go to the toilet. Everybody gets their time and whatever. Next thing you know, half an hour goes by. The car's got another 500 kilometers on it. That's great. That's great. I really love a swapping station just because of the fact that you get a freaking full life battery. You put your car in, the car goes up, it takes it off, you put in the new battery. You got the app that also tells you when it starts, when your car is ready, and you could be like with your family members having coffee. Oh, ding, ding, ding. Okay, it's notified me. Listen, guys, I'm just going to take the car and park it on the side over here. All right, you guys continue having your whatever. This is incredible. Listen, the timelines reflect that. When the hell do you want to get into NIO? Like, or Li Auto, or any of these other companies. It doesn't matter which one it is. When do you want to get in it? Do you want to get in it when it's at, in 2 years from now, when most car manufacturers are going to have like a ton of EVs out already? The United Kingdom brought their timeline to 2030. 2030. It was at 2040. They brought it to 2035, which is, pretty much the global agreement. All right. Even Biden was saying when he was talking in the last debate with President Trump, he was saying that the timeline, he said he wanted to phase out by 2035. He said that right there. They didn't want to subsidize oil anymore. Why? Because they pollute, as he said. And he also said solar isn't getting, they're not getting subsidized. No, solar and wind, they're not getting subsidized. So why should we subsidize, oil? And he was saying that, he wants to have, ICE vehicles, internal combustion engines, out by 2035. This is huge because if you look at the world, and I think that age plays a little bit into this, because when you're younger, you think you're going to live forever, and it's just the way it is. And I know, because I was like that too. When you're younger, it's just like, it's like eternity. It's like really, But the thing is that when you get older, you realize that time goes by really quick. All right. And we're going to be in 2021 very soon. 2030 is 9 years away. 9 years away. That's quick. So when do we want to get into this? I mean, if I look at the Citron, all right, which is probably, a name for citron in French, which basically means lemon. So if you look at that article, when do you want to get into it? Do you want to get into it in 3 years from now? When we all know that there will be no more internal combustion engines by 2035? Hell no, you want to get into it in its infancy. Like, if I see an American, like, okay, look, there's Lordstown, I think it is. There's Lucid Autos or something like that. Anyways, there are other car dealers out there, but it's just that when you look at, and I understand, believe me, I understand, because if Canada like green power motor vehicles is amazing, and if you think about the whole phasing out process, why wouldn't you invest in green power motor vehicles? I didn't like the reverse stock split that they did. That's why I got out of it just before the reverse stock split, because I wasn't for that. And I was like, it's going to probably come down after, so out immediately. But the thing is if they wouldn't have done that, I would have still had all my money inside there. Like, all my money. A lot of my money inside there, which I had, because it was so obvious that they have a great product. They're already in the United States, San Diego, California. They're already in there. They're already in a few places. I think New York probably is trying to switch, if I remember correctly, because I'm doing this all off of memory. New York, they want to get the transit system going as quickly as possible. I think they ordered some from Green Power Motor Vehicles. Go look that up. I'll look it up after, and I'll put something up here. So, if this is happening, when the heck do you want to get into NIO? So anyways, here's just a few articles we'll just look at real quick. Okay, so just to show here that NIO is much more than just a vehicle on its own. You got here on their site the battery launch event, the BAAS battery as a service, which is really, really interesting. NIO Power Innovation. This is quite incredible, and this is what gets me right here, man. There's swapping station, just crazy. Look at the EC6 right here. It's a really sweet vehicle, and this is what gets me right here. When you got a family, it's hard to find this type of vehicle right here, like the ES8, across the board. Like, if anybody knows of any other SUV type vehicles that are like this, I mean, I didn't see it in Xpeng. Maybe they do have it and I missed it, but I didn't see an SUV of this type, of this size, and nor did I see it in Li Auto. And look, this is a very nice, sweet vehicle as well. All right. Neo House, space of joy and possibilities, the Neo Power holistic ecosystem. I mean, this is just incredible right over here. So, let's just take a quick look at this vehicle over here. The all-new ES8. Look at this, 580 kilometers, guys. And this is what a lot of people were looking at. I was talking to a lot of my friends, and because they're looking in Canada, United States, and they're looking at these other vehicles, and they're getting like 128 miles or something like that. They're getting about 300 kilometers or something. And I'm going, well, I wish Neo was here because it's getting like, 580, with a 100 kilowatt battery pack over here, So 0 to 100 in 4.9 seconds. I mean, like, when you have kids, that's not really so important, but it's good to show that if you need the power, it's there, right? So that's pretty cool. Now look at the space inside. Like, look at this. I mean, why? I mean, come on, guys. I mean, like a Nomi. This is the Neo Pilot over here. Of course, naturally, you have the service ecosystem over here. So look. Anyways, let's get to this over here. Okay, well, actually, let's do this one first. So this came out today. Quebec to ban sale of new gas-powered vehicles as of 2035. So what we're looking at is less than 2% of vehicles in Quebec roads are electric. So imagine we have less than 2%, but by 2035, you're going to have like a ban on internal combustion engines. That's not far. That's 14 years away, guys. Hold on a second. Yeah, this is just too much. I can't handle this. Okay. All right. So, like I was saying, I can't handle. It's just, look at this. 2% of the vehicles on Quebec roads. How about Canada? What's the percentage of Canada? Now, this isn't only like a ban to sale new gas-powered vehicles in Quebec as 35 flagship measure of the Legault government's green economy plan. So the sale of second-hand gas-powered vehicles. So if you're going to buy a used vehicle, and I get it because we're looking at stratification of society, right? The layers of society. So the people that can't afford still to buy a vehicle of $20,000 and up, they're going to go buy themselves a $5,000 vehicle, and naturally it's going to come in the form of a second-hand vehicle. So I get it, and that's totally normal, all right, and it should be that way until electric vehicles are able to be used over the years, and then after that, those will go down, and then the elimination of internal combustion engines will be done, and people will be able to pick up electric vehicles at $5,000 as time goes on, and they become used vehicles. And then when you look at here, the Green Alliance, all right, so you're looking at China, Germany, 2030, 2025, proposed, of course, 2025, France 2040, India 2030, 2032, UK 2040, which is being brought down to 2030, or it is 2030. Look, guys, you can say anything that you want about look, people, the younger generation wasn't investing in all the older car manufacturers because they weren't seeing this, right? I mean, I know Ford has come out with their new Mustang there by this Christmas soon, if it's not out already. And the stock has gone up a bit. I had invested in Ford when it was like $6 or something like that. Now it's at 8 something, or a little cheaper, a little bit less expensive than that actually. But anyways, that's not important. But all that being said, is that people are getting in quick. People are getting in quick, and why wouldn't they? And why would they get out? I mean, listen, I see NEO as I see NEO going up into some serious triple digits. I see him going up to serious triple digits. I wouldn't be surprised to see some stock splits coming along the way. Same thing as what Tesla has done, and just so that way, at they get to a certain price, they want to get the retail investor, more people involved to get in. I wouldn't be surprised if I were to see that, and it's completely based off of projections and future growth. And with vehicles like this, China, the amount of population in China, their green agenda, I don't see how. You'd have to look at the macroeconomics of the world. You'd have to look at other factors, let's put it that way, that could create issues here. Naturally, those factors would create issues around the world everywhere. So, but I mean, if we're talking about a peaceful society of international trade, I mean, I don't see, look at the institutional investors in NEO. It's just insane. Was it hold on a second. Bridgewater Associates? Was it them or Ray Dalio himself, or that doubled their holdings in it just recently? So that should say everything right there. Look, guys, I'm definitely bullish on NEO. That's in my opinion. In my opinion, I'm definitely bullish on NEO. I think that the price that they're at now, pushing $50. I mean, they were above $50. They were flying that morning. Okay, they were at $54. Were they? I think. Look, they were flying. Are we? I don't see how. I mean, look, it went down to from 54, went down to 40, it went back up to 45, whatever. We saw massive support, influx of cash, and then there was an article released later in the day talking about how Li Auto and XBEV, their sales went up and all this kind of stuff. So, I wouldn't be surprised if this stock goes back up to $54 and stuff like that. And sees new heights. I'm not going to be shocked. I'm not going to be shocked at all, because you can read articles upon articles upon articles on Tesla being completely overvalued in what they're selling right now, and but it's all about future projection. I mean, look, I go on their site, and the first thing that pops up is the solar roofs and solar panels and stuff like that, and I'm like, what? But it's Tesla. So you're just like, okay, I got to look at this, And now I'm thinking about having my roof changed. So, if I can get a Tesla rooftop, that'd be awesome, man. So, a Tesla rooftop, Anyways, I know my area has got a ton of Teslas. Forget about it. If I compare it to just a year ago, I don't even have to go that far. Just a few months ago, it was hardly any Teslas around, and now there's Teslas all over the place. Is it because I'm looking for them? Maybe. I don't think so, because my wife too is saying the same thing. So, and with this, guys, what's really important here is lithium and nickel. I mean, you cannot have these vehicles work without lithium and nickel. So if you're looking at 2030, 2035 being the key number in the United States, in UK 2030, if you're looking at 2025 in other countries, 2025, think about it. That's just in a few years from now. Banning all new vehicles by 2025. Was it China that was said that was by 2025? Is that what we saw? Think about the lithium and nickel they're going to need. I mean, cattle is the number one battery producer on the planet. Think of how much nickel and lithium cattle's going to need. Wait a minute. Cattle is good. And cattle is with who? Are they with Neolithium? Oh, yes, they are. Neolithium. So if you look at Neolithium, I mean, cattle got into Neolithium, and cattle's got like, deals with Giuliotto, with Tesla. I mean, look, they're the number one freaking battery producers on the planet. They have the million-mile battery. I mean, Tesla didn't go with them for nothing. Okay, they've been doing things with each other for a while. All right, so I mean, it's a no-brainer, people. I mean, cattle is with Neolithium. EV cars are gonna be like putting internal combustion engine out because they're taking the market. If you think 2025 is far, let me tell you, I used to think that way, and then let's say when I was younger, and then I would miss like I don't know, like something, I'd be like, whatever, and the next like time went that quick. All right, I can give tons of examples on how fast time goes. Like my kids, I can't even understand their ages right now. I'm just like, aren't they just born? Like, so I mean, time goes by real quick, and you think that Neolithium is going to stay at $1.30? It's moving. It's moving. It seems to be doing what Lithium America did when they were at 3 something. I got them at 3 something. Next thing you know, they were at 5. They went to like 10. They hovered around $10, $11 for a while, and then boom, $22, and then went back down to 1918 because it's starting to stabilize and whatever. But same thing with Canadian Nickel Company. They're trying to get the PEA out by the end of December because they know how important it is for the EV market to have this out, so that the car, you think that's going to stay at $2. And when it comes to Neolithium, they have the industrial park set up. They got the Argentinian government gave them hectares of land. Like, you think that this is for nothing, and then you have cattle that's in Neolithium, and then you got I think they bought like 8.6%. And then who's in Neolithium? BlackRock. Come on! Oh my God, it's just insane. There's no way I can see Neolithium staying at $1.20 and the Tres Cuadras project in Argentina when they have a 30-year tax agreement with them, with the government. They have the industrial park that's already up. They have like water for the industrial park, water for their needs. The wells that were already made. They have educational centers there for the people to learn different trades, but as well to learn trades to work at the mining facility. They have like, I don't remember how many wells they got open up right now. I think like 4 or something like that. They have, if you look at their revenue, they have a small revenue stream, no debt, super strong financials. Same thing with Canadian Nickel Company. Go look at this stuff. It's insane. And they're going to be environmentally friendly. Both projects are going to be environmentally friendly. Where do you think the money's going to end up going? Come on. It's not complicated. It's the same thing with Diet Coke. It's not complicated. The car looks good. This tastes, I love it. It tastes great. All right. And you know what? The sales support that fact. And it's going to be the same thing here. And Giga Metals is also well positioned. The only thing that, for myself, in my opinion, I'm moving more towards Canadian Nickel Company. Why? Because with stocks, I don't believe in marrying a stock. All right. That's what I really like about Sykes, is that don't marry a stock. You could do some massive learning from Sykes. Minimize your losses, maximize your gains. The whole 10% thing. If you're doing like day trade, like this guy is a genius. All right. Well, I didn't become a multi-millionaire for nothing, right? Flying around the world and stuff like that. So I don't marry a stock. I think that Giga Metals has got great potential. if someone picks them up, especially if someone picks them up, so that way they can like get the infrastructure in place and all that, because they have the carbon capture, they have everything. The only thing that they're lacking when you look at it with Canadian Nickel Company is that the Canadian Nickel Company is just north of the Glencore Kid Creek project, just 30 minutes north of Timmins, Ontario. The roads are there, the infrastructure is there, everything is there. There's nothing that they just got to go and build the mine, really, in a sense. That's just basically it. So, and they have less than 50% the land surveyed. Mark Selby was stating that they believe that it's probably going to be as big as the one in Russia. Well, for me, he didn't name anything, but the big one in Russia is the Norilsk one. So if it's going to be as big as that baby, well, then it's going to be one of the biggest on the planet. So it's going to be like the number 2 or the number 1. So who's not going to pick that up? I see that as a complete no-brainer. And they're going to try to get the PEA assessment out by the end of December, so that way they can get all of the car manufacturers, the dealers and stuff, all like to understand what they've got there. So with the serpentine S type rock system, which allows it to be carbon, like a carbon capture system on its own. Anyways, look, these are definitely some other stocks that if you're eliminating internal combustion engines, newly produced internal combustion engines, and it's just going to be secondhand in order to phase it out over time, and also to allow people that don't have the money to go out and buy a brand new car. So it makes complete sense. But in order to get all the new cars out, you're going to need the nickel and you're going to need the lithium. You're going to need it 100%. I mean, just go look at Battery Day and go look at what Musk was saying. Just Tesla alone, there's not enough to support just Tesla. So imagine the phasing out by 2025, 2030, 2035. And 2035 is the key moment. This is the key moment for a lot of the big players on the planet. Anyways, so for all that being said, I'm bullish on NEO. I'm bullish on Li Auto. I'm bullish on XBank. I'm definitely still bullish on Tesla, even if it's at $400 something, because it's like investing in, like I always say, it's like investing in Elon Musk. Because if I could invest in Elon Musk, if he had a stock that was just like the Elon Musk stock, I'd put in like so much money, it'd be insane, because the guy is a genius. He's a genius, and there should be an Elon Musk day. Like, honestly, I don't care, anybody can say what they want, but there should be, because he took on everybody. I mean, he started this a long time ago, 2006, 2003, or whatever the hell. But, with Tesla, he started this a long time ago after PayPal. Tesla, and how many times did he have to put up his own money to continue to back? And people were just laughing at him. People were like, and he just, so, I mean, the guy deserves props. And, I mean, look at what he's doing with everything else out there, like batteries, solar roofs, the storage battery for your household, trying to get to Mars, thinking about like the continuation of the human civilization, if anything were to happen to Earth, that we can go and. So the guy he there should be an Elon Musk day. There just should, in my opinion. Anyways, great person. If and if it wasn't for him, I don't know how many of these electronic vehicle manufacturers would exist today, because I think cattle only started in 2015. And Elon Musk was already there way before that. And most of all of these EV manufacturers all came out way after. And when they saw that, oh man, Elon Musk is, he's a genius. It's not that he's onto something. He's a genius, and he paved the way. He just did. So all that being said, I'm bullish on all these vehicles. I don't see them going anywhere. And really, I'm still extremely bullish on NEO just because I love the battery swapping station. For me, this is a game changer. I find just because if you want to travel, let's say across Canada from let's say I don't know, the Maritimes all the way to Vancouver, swapping stations would be ideal. They just would be because of how long Canada is. And then you just like going, okay, swapping station. You sit down, go to the wash, have some tea, whatever. Your app tells you, you go, you have a brand new battery, full range, and you keep on going to the next swapping station, and you just do it again and again and again. And believe me, when you're going, 500 kilometers, you're gonna want to stop and go to the washroom, or you're gonna want to stop and grab yourself a coffee or something like that. And it doesn't hurt for you to walk around and get out of your car and walk around, and especially those distances anyways, you're going to be sleeping, you're going to be unless you got another person you could be switching with and stuff like that. So stopping to go and get a battery swap, even charging, if you're sleeping and stuff, is fine. But I'm sold on the battery swapping technology. It's phenomenal because you have all of the options. For NEO, you can have a vehicle come, like a little mini truck that comes and charges your vehicle for you. You have the charging stations at home, and of course charging stations. And then you have the swapping technology. Look, it's a no-brainer. So, and I'm bullish on, in my opinion, I'm completely bullish as well on Canadian Nickel Company and on NEO Lithium. I don't see how. First of all, NEO Lithium, forget about it. With cattle there, I don't even understand how the stock is not up already at 10. But cattle and BlackRock, I don't see how the stock, maybe people haven't picked up on it yet, but only putting in money in NEO or Tesla or whatever and not putting it into a stock that's like $1.30 where you can get, you put down $10,000 in this price right over here, and this goes up to $20. Completely insane, the amount of money that you can make on it. And people what are they going to say? Oh no, it's never going to do that. Well, then forget about investing in all these electric vehicles. If cattle is if cattle, the number one biggest battery manufacturer on the planet. Well, yeah, and don't forget, there's Build Your Dreams, That's also BYD, beautiful. They're electric vehicles. They're huge, and Berkshire Hathaway had invested in them a long time ago. That all being said, this is the future. So if you don't think that NEO Lithium, that cattle's inside, the biggest battery manufacturer on the planet, and BlackRock, that's massively huge, that on that interview that I'm going to try to find, the guy was like, well, you're so big, and with their AI bots and all this kind of stuff, you have to look at BlackRock, you have to look at this interview, it's freaking amazing. And they're like, you basically could swing the industry. You can you can move a whole industry over, And look, they got the biggest investment in NEO Lithium. Are you telling me that it's not going to go anywhere? Oh, come on, please. I saw Lithium America going up right away when Ganfeng put down in there. I was like, boom, I put it in right away. I put in a big amount of money, didn't even look back. Just sat back, relaxed, watch it go up, and that's it. So, I did the same thing. NEO, when it was at 350 something, took it out at I did. I don't know, no problem saying it. Took it out at $22 because I wasn't too sure what was going to happen with the presidency race and everything like that. So instead of shorting a stock, we don't short stocks here for many reasons. And you know what? I just sat back, I relaxed, and I just wanted to see what was going to happen. I have to admit that I was quite shocked that the stock was really flying through the roof with the whole presidency thing going on. It's almost like as if some people already knew that it was going to be, anyways, it's a little suspicious of how, the three stocks were going up through the roof and like a week and a half before. It's not just people holding. There was massive injections of money here to go from $22 to $40. So, I was like going, I was thinking it would still hover around between 18 and 22. I was going, it's still going to be around there maybe, And then I was like going, whoa, it's really going up. And then I was going, phew. But, I'm not alone on that because look at all the shorters the millions that were lost shorting NEO. All right. So and this helped drive up the stock too. And am I backing? Absolutely. As soon as I saw where the presidency was, okay, people are saying, yeah, but they might be going to Supreme Court. You never know what's going to happen and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. But I just, at this point, I got in at $40 anyways, so I don't really care. I made a ton of profit until $22, a ton of profit, and I had put those profits in. Like when it was at the top of 22 and I started to see it go down, I took out there. So, I went down to like 18 or something like that at one point, or back to 16 or something. And, all the profits from then all went into other companies that brought those profits up as well. And a lot of that money is still sitting in companies like Neolithium at 90 cents. So when you think about it, it's not like I lost something in between because of the amount of profits I made in other places. And then after that, now I'm injecting back in here because I see where the presidency is. I see the potential of it doing triple digits. I see the potential of it actually stock splitting. I see the potential of Neolithium. I see the potential of CNC, Canadian Nickel Company. And then, there's all these other companies too, like CloudMD, which Motley Fool just released an article on them saying that they are the future of telehealth. So, look, completely bullish on all these companies, and of course, this is just in our opinion. It's my opinion. You should always do the research yourself. We're a stock entertainment channel. So with all that, I say good night, and let's enjoy what's going to be happening over the next few years, 5-10 years. If we just hold long, like Warren Buffett says, his first investment he took out and then it shot up 200% or something like that. And then he was like, he learned a valuable lesson and that was it. And then he put in money and he still has stocks like Coca-Cola from all the way back in the day. And look at what he's worth today. So this is my strategy. I am not touching anything for a while. When it comes to one last thing, when it comes to like those lithium stocks and nickel stocks, the one thing that I find is very important to note when it hits the peak, of all the batteries that are made on the planet. So now we're talking about all brand new vehicles. We're talking about all secondhand vehicles all being gone, and that you have that peak that Tesla was talking about, that using old batteries is just more efficient than using newer batteries. So I'm sort of thinking about, a lot of these companies, I don't know if it's a 30-year timeline or anything, but it's almost like as if they're producing because of stainless steel and everything, and then the EV market's going to like bring it up, and then all of a sudden it's going to be like a parabola, right? So it's going to go up, 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 and then it's going to hit that one point that's going to be the top, and then I sort of see it coming down, and then stabling off somewhere where you're gonna have to still have some because you need your stainless steel, and you're still gonna need for electric vehicles and stuff like that, or electric planes or electric boats like Carnival Cruise Line's doing with hydrogen fuel cells technology and all this kind of stuff. So I sort of see it like a parabola. I don't see it as that linear graph of like oil over time, like always going up and then just always going up, because it's just eating the oil all the time, going into the air, just eating and eating and eating and eating. So it always constantly and consistently needs to just fuel itself. So it's just always going up. It's always going up. More cars, more population going up, going up. It's always going up. Bigger vehicles, bigger this, bigger that, bigger boats. So it's just always going up, right? But I don't, after like watching Battery Day and Elon Musk saying, well, once the industry has all the batteries that it needs, they don't see that the mass produce, they don't see these big mines and stuff having to produce at those quantities, because the batteries will continuously just feed themselves. So I don't see it like this, like oil for the last 70 years or whatever. I see it like, and I don't know how many years it's going to take because you have to really do the research on this, and things change. But of course, naturally, it's not 5-10 years from now. I never would have seen it this way if Elon Musk didn't mention the fact that once batteries are out and that peak of new vehicles, secondhand vehicles being reached, that they wouldn't need more. I wouldn't have seen it that way. I would have just continued thinking that linear graph that just goes up over time, like oil. But when you think about it, if these are rechargeable batteries, I'm sure once it hits that peak and then they have the extra battery storage. So when I say peak, I don't know what the peak is, right? It's what's going to be determined by the industry, right? That's what it's going to be. It's going to be determined by the industry. Now, there's other technologies that are out, that are coming out, like the Tamarack, General Fusion, these are for other sectors and stuff like that. But will they be able, like, if ever we get into the whole space force, spaceships in space, instead of launching from Earth because of gravity, we launch from the ISS, or we ended up, having colonies on the moon, and then we can launch from there. I mean, are we going to be using, general fusion, plasma fusion inside those things? More like Star Trek type stuff. So we don't know where the next, because general fusion, you go look up the company, it exists, and if you look at the Tamarack, you go look it up in the UK. They had put it on, and then look at the one that they're building in France, which is an international coalition of countries all getting together to make that one work. So. Yeah, so all that being said, that peak is determined by the industry, and naturally we'll know, because if you're an investor, you'll be like, oh, okay, so you'll have knowledge of the peaks, and they'll be like, if we're still alive at that time, because the peak could be in 30 years, like it could be in 60 years, but it's definitely not before 30 years. It can't be just because of the fact that you're looking at 15 years. You're looking at 2050 being like, to try to end all combustible stuff. So you're looking at, right there, you're looking at 30 years right there. But I doubt that would be where you would be topping off. You want to add another 10 years to that, so 40 years. So I wouldn't worry about any of that. I mean, if you're putting in like, something like 10 or 20, 30,000 in something like neolithium, and it goes up to like $50, well, you don't need it to hit the 500 marks, right? So that's just it. So completely bullish on neolithium, completely bullish on CNC, completely bullish on Neo Auto, Li Auto, XPeng, BYD, Build Your Dreams, even company like Lordstown, whether it's even Solo, green power motor vehicles, I say neolithium and CNC, I did, or even companies like in the telemedicine, like CloudMD, completely bullish on them as well. And of course, naturally, with a vaccine around the corner, which has nothing to do with CloudMD. CloudMD is the future of telemedicine, but with a vaccine around the corner through Pfizer, over 90% efficiency. Well, then you're definitely looking at like stocks like Air Canada, American Airlines, Delta, JetBlue, Southwest Airlines, United. Then you're looking at the hotels, resorts, casinos. Don't forget companies like TripAdvisor and stuff like that in order to book flights to go places, because believe me, people are gonna want to go places. And then of course you're looking at cruise line industry, which was like held a massive blow. And you could see how fast these all went up on that Monday, 33%, all of them, all up, just like that. It's like someone hit a button, and then just like that. Carnival Cruise Lines, Royal Caribbean, and Norwegian. If all of this comes out really soon, then all of these companies will shoot through the roof. And if you're hearing things like the titles like not ready, set to sail, and all this kind of stuff, just let you know, in my Carnival Cruise Lines, which was like an hour video, it says inside there that these cruise ships, it takes about 60 days in order to be fully prepared to be able to do that. So to go out. What else? Did I forget anything? So basically, there's some groups that are interesting to be able to get into. CloudMD has the CloudMD shareholders group, which is really cool, and CloudMD wealth investing group. That one's good too. Then you have Neo Auto's got Neo's got some groups as well over there. You have Canadian and American stock ideas, which is a good group to get into. It's newly started. Some good ideas there. And there was also another one. That's it right there. So that's it for that. And of course, if you go to betweenplays.com, you're gonna have articles that go up. So if you don't see a video over here, it's just because there might be an article that myself or some members of the team put up in there, and a lot of times if a member of the team goes and they don't want to, they don't do this, so they'll go and they'll put up an article, which is interesting. There's a few interesting articles up there already, which started about 3 months ago. So there's actually quite some articles to actually look at inside there. It's pretty good. And then you have all of our links to the Twitter inside betweenplays.com. You have links to Twitter and everything like that. And on Twitter, for Between Plays on Twitter, you get like pre-market gainers, pre-market losers. You get updates to when there's a new article that's up on betweenplays.com. So all that being said is thanks a lot to all my subscribers. I hope this helps you, and I really wouldn't worry too much about that article that came out. Look, like I told a lot of my friends that were in Neo Auto, they're like, do you think it's going to go down to $20? And I'm like, but didn't you know it was already overvalued? I put money in at for $40 again. I knew it was overvalued. It's momentum buying. And it's forward projection. Like, we all know where this is going. So anyways, with all that being said, have a good night, guys. See you next time.